So the Texans have officially cut Marlon Mack, which opens the door for a very popular sleeper this year in fantasy football. So Dameon Pierce, the fourth rounder out of Florida, is going to be the starting running back, presumably, for the Houston Texans. Had a very good camp, had a very good preseason, a very explosive runner. What do you make of the hype around Dameon Pierce?
First thing I'm going to say, 9 of the last 10 years, a rookie running back has finished as a top 10 running back. Dameon Pierce will be that running back this season. I think Marlon Mack's release has cleared the way for him to have a huge workload, and volume means points in fantasy football.
Absolutely. The question I guess I have for you, just one thing that kind of looking up his college stats. So he's never got really a lot of receiving work. Do you think he's going to be a full 3-down runner for the Houston Texans?
I don't see any running back on that roster that's going to be taking carries away from him or taking snaps away from him. I mean, Burkhead's on the team and Ogunbowale. They're not scary names.
They're not, but Rex has been a 3rd-down back throughout the majority of his career.
That's true, and it's possible he'll get some run, just depending on how effective Dameon Pierce is through the season, and maybe irregardless. But Rex Burkhead is also 32 years old. He's
but they kept him around.
Run. We'll see what happens. I think Dameon Pierce is a huge sleeper. I think if you get him in the 6th round, you've got him at a good value, a good guy that can potentially be a league winner.
Yeah, and I think that the Houston Texans offense isn't going to be as bad as people initially projected coming into the year. I, for one, actually think that Davis Mills will have a good season. Whether or not that means he's the long-term answer for the Houston Texans is a different question altogether. But I don't think that he's going to be an incompetent NFL starter by any means. If you look at a lot of the early prospect hype around Davis Mills, the big question was just he didn't play a lot at Stanford. Now that he has the real opportunity going into the year as the starting quarterback in Houston, I think that he'll have an opportunity to shine out there. Shine relatively for Houston Texans standards, but that only increases the value of the running game with Dameon Pierce. So at worst, I look at Dameon Pierce and look at him as if he's your running back 2 by the end of the year. That's great because you're getting him right now as the 68th, 69th player off the board, according to average draft position right now. So 27th running back drafted. So I fully expect after roster cut down day for his ADP to skyrocket as this hype machine continues to take off, because literally everyone is posting about Dameon Pierce, and how this video just adds to the hype on Dameon Pierce because you're clearly excited for him. He's a guy that I'm not going to turn down if the value's right. It makes a lot of sense for people to be enthusiastic. I just worry about if things continue and people start drafting him in the 2nd round, early 3rd, then that kind of lessens the impact of being able to get him where I would like to get him.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, at that point, you might just be getting a player. Even if he breaks out, you're getting a player at value. And at that point, I wouldn't call him a league winner if you draft him that early.
Yeah.
Because you gave up drafting somebody else.
But
potentially.
But we talked about kind of like the questions around a lot of the early round running backs. It's good to know that Dameon Pierce could pose a nice insurance policy if you drafted some guys that you're a little unsure of, right? When you're drafting the Christian McCaffreys early or the Saquons early, and you're kind of a little bit hesitant based off, obviously, their recent history. Gain a guy that could perhaps at least keep a solid baseline, solid floor for your roster here in Dameon Pierce. You mentioned the volume play. He has this year's James Robinson written all over him. At worst case, even if the Houston Texans offense is bad, I think he could at least give you James Robinson level production. So yeah, I don't think that it's overhyped. My only thing is just don't overdraft if it doesn't make sense. And that just value-based drafting is something that everyone should follow. Don't look at the early preseason hype and say, okay, well, Dameon Pierce, all right, 1st round pick for me. That's where I think people could go wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. It makes no sense to take him in the 3rd or 4th round. Even he's going to probably drop to at least the 5th, probably the 6th round. And I think you're safe waiting till then to take him.
So what's the earliest you're drafting? 5th?
I had 2 drafts last night. I grabbed him in the 6th round in both.
You're not going to fault anyone if they decide, 5th round, I'll just take a chance so no one vulture.
Yeah,
thing.
if you really feel strongly about it, and you don't think he's going to come back to you the next round, I don't blame you for grabbing him.
So are you drafting a guy like Rex Burkhead as a potential insurance policy, or is that not needed on this Houston roster?
I don't know that there is an insurance policy, and my thoughts are chances are if he goes down, they might be signing somebody else to try to fill that role.
They might just sign back like a Marlon Mack or something. So yeah, that's fair. Dameon Pierce could be this year's breakout running back, and certainly we're looking for the rookie running back to break out. So
There's always somebody.
No hate, exactly. There's always somebody. No doubts here from Juju Talk Sports, from Andrew Hohman. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment below your thoughts. How's your fantasy drafts going? If you have any fantasy questions at all, not just related to Dameon Pierce, we want to know. Drop them below. Stay safe, happy, and healthy, and we will see you next time.